The next day the team gathered at 9 a.m. for feedback and training. Eli asked what worked and what didn't work. Ruth spoke up, "I really loved Jack. I see him being another Apostle Paul enemy who flips, like Tony did, and becomes a pure terror to the devil's kingdom." Cade said, "Yeah. I can poke him in the ribs already." Everyone looked at Cade with question marks on their faces. "Well, he asked if I thought he'd turn out okay. I told him we'd pave the path for success. We're all in for him." Everyone kept looking. That was no answer. Cade went on. "But there's a test," I told him. "We could throw ya in the bayou, and if the gators don't eat ya, that's a sign you'll make it." "Nah," he said. "I eat lots of peppers. One chomp and they'd rush off looking for swamp critters to get my taste out of their mouth." Eli was thrilled. He said, "First of all, men make friends by wrestling like puppies. Women, not so much. And you gotta read a man, even, to see if it helps or hurts. Jack, clearly, has a thick skin, and he'll have a thick skull for Jesus. Watch and see." Please notice, he's already using self-deprecating humor, something y'all can do. Your testimony is a super thing to share, when they drag it out of ya. And, knowing y'all, you have a rich storehouse of self-deprecating humor. Everyone laughed. Look. It's not friendship that changes souls, it's the gospel. But they read it in your face, often, before they read it in the Bible. Selah looked like she was gonna pop. Eli noticed. "Selah, what in the world is going on?" Selah brightened. "You wanna hear it? 'Cause it's almost too much for me." Eli gave her the thumbs up. "Well. I was really enjoying Mary Jo and Sally, the two biker girls. When they heard I did music, each of them listened to Don't Harden Your Heart, Mary Jo first. She went nuts and told Sally she had to hear it. Both of them said, with urgency, that they did not want to harden their hearts. To sum it up, I told them, like the song said, that Jesus paid the complete price for their forgiveness and he would also give them his supernatural life to live in them." Everyone in Eli's went nuts. Selah went on, pausing a moment to catch her breath. "Well. That's not all. Far from it. As soon as they got back to where they lived they popped the song on their big loud biker bar speakers, for the whole I mean, the whole freaking bar. People fell to their knees, crying, right there in that bar, even big mean guys with scars and long beards, wearing their leather. We're not just gonna have a big crowd next week." With that they heard the roar of motorcycles pulling up to the lodge. "Oh, Jesus, thank you," Ruth cried out. Everyone ran out and greeted them all with hugs, Cade slapping Em on the back, just like his ex-drug gang friends, many of whom were now in the Koinonia band. They all piled into the lodge. Eli looked at Cade, raised his eyebrows and gave a quick nod. Cade went wild, preaching up a fire. He told how he'd been in a drug gang, blood in, blood out. They lived up to it, too, giving him a brutal beating. At that he paused. "Trust me, you may think you're not the sort God can make righteous, filling you with his love. Trust me, brothers. You look like sweet angels compared to a swamp rat's." They all laughed hard. One yelled, "We can whoop ya if you want us to." They all laughed even more. "Nah, fellas. Once was plenty. But I sang a song in which I confessed my sins and prayed God would forgive them cause. Well. They didn't really know what they did. I gotta ask y'all. What do y'all know about the beating Jesus took for you? 'Cause without the shedding of blood there's no forgiveness of sins." They had seen movies about Jesus, so each of them shouted out the crap the cops had done to Jesus. Yeah. And unlike us, he was innocent. They went on and on about stuff Jesus had endured, until the women broke into tears. They kept it up, voices wavering until everyone fell on their faces or hit their knees. Finally, the leader of the gang cried out with a voice like thunder, "We gotta hit the river." Eli said, "How'd you know?" One said, "You know. Dat movie about oh brother, something yeah, they shouted. They all hit de river. Eli told them about death and rebirth, and how they get to live a whole new way. One shouted, "I can weld." Others shouted, "I repair motors. I paint." The leader spoke with authority, "We already piled into houses down by the whore, down by the hotel with red doors. We'll run it for Jesus. Clean, of course. We'll be the ugliest army of love in Carolina, Georgia. But we won't tolerate drugs. If someone needs rehab, one of us will go with them. We the only family we got." Eli spoke up, "I've never been so convinced of a crew of people leaving their old life and beginning new." "Where we headed?" Bobby, the leader, yelled, "Lake Hartwell State Park." With loud hoots and hollers they all piled onto their bikes and made sure to get max noise out of their motors as they headed to the park. The ladies went and picked up dry clothes for after, but they soon joined them too. The crowd that was there cleared, with no idea at all what was going on. Eli, Fire, and Ruth went down in the water. Cade began to sing, not needing any instruments, his voice booming out Psalm 51 blues. "Carve me a new heart," causing a rich aura. Selah was equally able to belt out her Psalm 51 song. Cade did his Huntin' for God song. The crew alternated between holy silence and shouting raucously as each person went under and came up, often fist in the air, with loud praises. Eli was in tears with each of the ones going under, as was Ruth and Fire, as they baptized the women. Bobby the biker shouted to the crowd, "A bunch of ya look like you wanna join us. If you want to escape the wrath of God coming on the world, come on down to the church lodge up at the crossroads Wednesday at 6. Come hungry for tacos and God's love." A bunch shouted that they would, sure enough. The atmosphere was alive with holy fire. It was hard to tear themselves away from each other. But finally, under the light of the moon they hit the road. On the way back Eli said to Fire, "What just happened?" Fire just shook her head with tears streaming down her cheeks.